Tiny baby. Alright, this is his food, and you're going to feed him his food.
Okay.
Let me show you the rules of the game.
Yes, please.
So, this is food, this is not food. He can't see the difference between these two things. Neither can he see the difference between me and either one of you. He sees movement, shapes and shadows. Don't put this one in his mouth. Don't put this one in his mouth. Let's keep that clear since I started to say it backwards there. But don't put your finger in his mouth. Don't put your finger in my mouth. Either one of us might bite you if you stick your finger in our mouth. And seems obvious, but you'd be surprised. So when you feed him his food, he's going to come down here and he's just going to eat the food. And you give the food to him like this. Come on now, buddy. Hey, come here, Bo. Wanting him to let go so I can show you how a sloth moves. Hey, come on, dude. Come here, Bo. Last half hour he ate squash and yellow squash and zucchini. Come here, Bo. Size of a teeth on a sloth. They're huge. Well, I'll show you in a minute after. So,
arm down though.
alive in the world today, there are 2-fingered sloths and 3-fingered sloths. Their spines are set up differently. A 3-fingered sloth has 9 vertebrae in the cervical spine, skull to shoulders, 3 vertebrae of a tail. A 2-fingered sloth has 5 vertebrae in the cervical spine, no tail. So the 3 missing from there and the 4 missing from there are all between the hips and shoulders of a 2-fingered sloth. And consequently, a 3-fingered sloth and a 2-fingered sloth move very differently. So with a 3-fingered sloth, they turn their head 270 around like an owl, like this.
Okay.
And with a 2-fingered sloth, he rotates his entire body around. If he lets go of his other foot, I'll show you. But we'll wait and see. So the 2-fingered sloth is somewhat bigger and marginally quicker than a 3-toed sloth. But to describe a 2-toed sloth as quicker than any other mammal, you can only be talking about a 3-fingered sloth. Together they are the world's slowest mammals. So the sloths are slow. Sloths are famously slow. But sloths are slow in ways that you may not realize that a sloth is slow. So it starts from their diet. A sloth eats almost exclusively leaves in the rainforest. About 90% leaf material in the rainforest, about 75% leaf material in captivity. You get a little more nutrition in captivity than they do in the wild. Because they're eating super low quality food, they eat a tremendous amount of it, but they get very little nutrition from it. So it's kind of like if you imagine yourself with a diet of nothing but celery, you would need to eat a gosh awful lot of celery to get enough energy to function. So the sloth is designed to work on a very, very, very minimal energy budget. So for instance, a sloth, even though he technically is a warm-blooded animal, he cannot maintain his body temperature. So his core body temperature follows the outside air temperature. So his daytime core body temperature can be 19 degrees Fahrenheit higher than his nighttime core body temperature. Did I say that backwards? Daytime can be 19 degrees more than nighttime.
Okay.
So I am also a warm-blooded animal. If my core body temperature decreased by 19 degrees, the coroner would provide that information in the police report to calculate when I had expired. And but a sloth does that every day. In the wild, not here. Another major difference for a sloth than other mammals is it can only nourish its babies with milk for about 3 to 6 weeks, according to Wikipedia. According to the San Diego Zoo's research, they say it is gender dependent, and that a male baby sloth will be nourished with milk for 15 days and a female for 27 days. Of course, I don't have first-hand knowledge of either of those things. I'm telling you what I've read. But in any case, it is brief that they're being fed with milk. The female sloth has no milk storage system. They do not produce, store, and then deliver milk. they produce milk. They produce milk drop by drop, and the baby eats it as mama produces it.
Okay, some spinach or something.
Here, let me give you some sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
He's not gonna eat all of this. I need your spinach after that. She likes the sweet potatoes, not the green beans. She likes the green beans and is less enthused about the sweet potatoes. Brady's gone. He might eat a whole bowl though. He's allowed up to 7 ounces of veggies a day, and then the rest of his diet is leaves. And he gets 2 hard-boiled eggs a week, which one of those is this morning, and then he gets 3 servings of fruit a week. And so one of the major factors in being able to keep a sloth is their diet and their environment. So a sloth can never ever be allowed to get cold. It can never ever allowed to be dried out. You know, rainforest, 80 degrees, 50% relative humidity all the time. And you absolutely, it's critical that you maintain your diet exactly right. So if you're gonna be a sloth keeper, you need to be a sloth poopologist. So, you know, if you have a baby, you don't turn your head away, see what's in the diaper, because the best way to know what's going on in the baby is what came out of the baby. And similar with a sloth, every time that he drops a deuce, you have to carefully examine that and make sure nothing is going awry with the sloth. And you know, if it's at all loose or runny, less fruit. If it's at all dry or hard, more fruit. And there are other things that can be done if you have to, but the main thing is just control their diet. So slow, you know, the things that people don't really think about are like, you know, temperature, production of milk, things like that. Everyone knows they're slow, but they're slow in many ways. They're slow in their they're slow in their digestion, metabolism, metabolic processes. They are slow in every way that an animal can be slow. So, slow in their digestion. A sloth eats a tremendous amount of food, roughly 10% of their body weight every single day, and yet they go to the bathroom once in 7 to 10 days. You guys are welcome to pet this guy. You can pet him like this. He doesn't like to be scratched. He doesn't like to be rubbed. But you know, to know what a sloth feels like, it's worth petting him. And all 3 sloths feel differently because of the length of their hair coat. So
I wasn't expecting him to be as soft.
he looks like he would be wiry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had a course.
Yes.
Hey, come here, Flash. Hey, look, go, come down here, buddy. Come here, Bob. Give him his egg. Why do we have stored eggs today?
I think he's gonna be feeding soft today.
Next thing I'll do?
Maybe a little difficult. So are they blind?
Their eyes have a structure called rod monochromacy, which means that they have
I know.
all rod cells, no cone cells. So they see shapes and shadows and chromatic vision, grayscale only.
Okay.
Remember, Bob? So like he smells this, he doesn't see it. I mean, he sees that there's something there. Alright, so while he's eating, you can stand approximately this close to the sloth to take pictures. He's not looking to bite you, just don't stick your finger inside of his mouth. And if you want to stand on both sides of the sloth, I'll take a picture together.
That is awesome. With our phones?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I don't need to take a picture of you.
It's like, where's the egg? Oh.
This is on slow-mo, I assume you actually want
I have no idea.
photo or video. Put video.
Thank
Take
you.
stills out, no, I'll put on video, you can take stills out of it later.
Oh, you're more techie than I am.
Yeah.
Go ahead, honey.
He gets 2 hard-boiled eggs a week, so this is his
Little
special
treat.
thing.
Is there anything that he'll just like eat like there's no tomorrow? Is it fruit?
Fruit, yeah,
You like fruit? What do they eat for fruit?
bananas. Bananas, mangoes, papaya,
I'm a sloth.
no citrus,
Well, we knew that.
likes apples, prefers green over red.
See if we can get you to stretch it out. Are they-
When he really stretches, he can reach the deadbolt.
Is there, so if they're so slow, how do they protect themselves besides the claws?
So
Thank you, sir.
you need spinach,
Uh-huh. Oh, him and his egg.
so the sloth has a number of built-in defenses. First, he has no scent. Sloth has no
No scent,
no scent.
really?
He has no sweat glands, he has no musk glands, he has no scent of any sort. So snakes hunt by smell and motion. The snake can't smell a sloth. The sloth has moss and algae that grow all in his fur, so he smells like the rest of the forest. The
Huh.
moss and algae cover him, so he can't. It is really, really hard. That's one of the problems with researching sloths is they're doggone hard to find, even to a person with binoculars. They're tough to find.
Plus their coat, I would think, would camouflage as well.
Although, have you seen a picture of one in the wild?
Yeah.
They're all nasty looking with all the moss and algae all in their fur. So hard to find. They go all the way out, so their eyes, rod monochromacy is the structure of their eyes, all rod cells, no cone cells. So they are detecting motion more than shapes. He can't see the difference between me and either one of you, even with the lovely hair, because he has no color vision, chromatic vision. So he knows what I smell like and he knows what I sound like. So he can go way out to the ends of the branch. When he detects motion, doesn't really matter what it is. Any motion is bad for a sloth, so just out to the end of the branch. So he only weighs 15 pounds, so he can go much further out to the end of the branch than a big old cat that's gonna eat him can get. Should the cat press the issue to the point that the branch breaks and they both fall 100 feet to the floor of the rainforest, the sloth will almost certainly survive and the cat will almost certainly not. And the sloth will look over at the cat and he'll say, ha, ha, and back up the tree he goes. And camouflage, slow movement, really light. So when he's in the top of the tree, he is entirely safe from predators with the exception of eagles. Eagles have really good vision and they can fly at him. So the weight doesn't matter. If they can see him, they can get to him. But you know, that's not common. But that's the only thing that can get him in the top of the tree is an eagle. And yet, even though they're entirely safe in the top of the tree, they come all the way down the tree, same side of the tree, go to the bathroom in the same place that they always go. That's why there's only shavings in one spot in his room. That is the only place in his life he's ever going to go to the bathroom. So the reason why a sloth comes down the tree to go to the bathroom is a subject to some amount of discussion and research. So often is the case with science that they start out with some profoundly stupid ideas. Well, they kind of zero in, sometimes on the right ideas, sometimes not. And so the first idea on why a sloth comes down the tree to go to the bathroom is they're neat animals. I mean, come on, he's not Adrian Monk gonna risk his life to be neat, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And, so the second idea was that he's fertilizing his own tree via his waste. Again, dumb idea. If he lets it rip from 100 feet up, it's gonna land on the ground above the root system of the tree. No net effect. what we're hearing walking around here is an armadillo. So if an armadillo happens to come to your feet,
Okay.
don't worry.
Okay.
He's-
She
he's
walked out
friendly.
with an armadillo.
Say what?
I said earlier
She had one in her hand.
Oh, did she take it out?
She
Yes.
may have.
I wonder what the sound is then.
I don't know, she had one in her hand. Looked like a roly-poly.
That's Baku. Here's the AC making racket. So, so the actual reason why a sloth comes down the tree to the bathroom is the sloth-moth symbiotic relationship. So in the wild, not here, praise the Lord, in the wild, sloths need moths and moths need sloths. So in the wild, there are 100 to 150 moths living in the sloth's fur all of the time, for all his life. If a sloth's moth colony dies out, the sloth will go with it. The sloth will die of starvation a month later. So the reason for that, when the sloth comes down the tree, remember I said he eats up to 10% of his body weight every day and goes to the bathroom only 3 or 4 times a month. So he has potentially eaten 100% of his body mass since he last went to the bathroom, solid or liquid. And so he does metabolize, as in convert from food to energy, very thoroughly, but there's not much energy there. When he comes down the tree, he's going to eliminate 1/3 of his total body mass. So in 2 or 3 minutes. And if you wanted to see how, back up in TikTok for a couple of weeks and you'll find one titled Sloth Potty Dance. Shows you how a sloth goes to the bathroom, this sloth. And so when he comes down the tree to go to the bathroom, he gets his hiney right to the ground. And the moths fly down into the waste pile, they all lay their eggs and back to the sloth before they miss the ride back to the top of the canopy. The only reasons the moth leaves the sloth in their life is to drink water that pools up in leaves and to get into the waste pile to lay their eggs. There is a type of moth in the world called a sloth moth that lives nowhere on earth except in the fur and in the waste pile of a sloth. So it is symbiotic, meaning beneficial to both sides. The benefit to the moth is that the sloth is the food source and the living environment of the moths. The moths are feeding on the moss and algae that is all in the sloth's fur, and then they are fertilizing that moss and algae via their waste. More moss and algae, more disguise. So the sound is leaning on it. I get it.
Oh, I'm so
No,
sorry.
it's totally good. I sit there all the time. It's built to hold a 100-gallon fish tank. It'll surely hold you. Just usually when I hear a sound over there, it's Baku running around. Yeah, you're totally good. Doesn't matter. I just was confused. So the sloth, the benefit to the sloth is that as the sloth grooms himself, he licks up a certain amount of the waste of the moths. That is where he gets his bacteria colony that digests his food. He also licks up a certain amount of the moths themselves. That is his protein source. So here, he doesn't need the moths. Here, he gets his protein from the 2 hard-boiled eggs, and he doesn't have to have his bacteria colony routinely replenished. For us, we have helpful gut bacteria. Our gut bacteria will last throughout our lives unless we take a lot of antibiotics. If we take a long course of antibiotics, we need probiotics or Greek yogurt. Picks our gut health back up.
Yes.
He doesn't have GNC. He doesn't have Publix. He is not getting probiotics or Greek yogurt. So the source of his bacteria replenishment is the moths. As he grooms himself, the waste of the moths are the source of the bacteria that cause him to digest his food. Now what kills our gut bacteria is antibiotics. What kills his is cold temperature. If the sloth gets cold, it kills his bacteria colony and it must be replenished or the sloth will die. So in the wild, he has to have them replenished. Here, we never, ever, never let a sloth get cold. If he never gets cold, his bacteria colony will last throughout his life. The only thing that will go wrong with his bacteria colony is too much or too little sugar. If he gets too much or too little sugar, that's problematic for him regarding the bacteria.
Hi, I'm sorry.
So,
it's empty.
Some other things about a sloth that we haven't talked about. The sloth hangs in the tree for long, long periods of time, right?
He's like, I'm done.
And the sloth is he hangs in the tree for long periods of time. If we were hanging on this branch, a minute would be a long time to do a
Yes,
2-arm hang.
absolutely.
This is our exertion state. This is relaxed. Sloth is the opposite. This is his relaxed state. Clamp down is relaxed.
Really?
This is his exertion state. Reaching out is
He's
exertion.
moving faster than I thought.
Yeah.
So the sloth will hang in the tree and he is exerting no energy at all to hang on to the tree. If the sloth expired, he wouldn't necessarily fall. He could continue to hang there for days or weeks until something knocked him out of the tree or until something rotted. Yeah, see the way he moves around, and he's hanging by both right legs at this exact moment. And he's capable of moving quicker than you think.
Yes.
He just can't invest a lot of energy into any individual thing. They were interested in seeing how Flash moves here when we wrap these two encounters up in the next 2 or 3 minutes. I'm going to let everybody see the way Flash goes outside because it's warm enough for him to go outside today. So when you get done, come on out.
Yeah, I'll take your photo. No, baby, I'm good. He wants the air. Give me the air. So, do this and then if I'm right and I go forward, you should be going in next. Sit down. Hi. 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 Flash. Next time it's sitting down, it's okay. I just feel it's faster.
Alright, so in just a minute, he's going to go to his outside enclosure because it's warm enough outside. I don't think I ever did get to show you the way that the two-fingered moves. So let's see if he wants to.
He does like, come peasant.
Mm.
I need my
like
food.
more food.
More please.
Come down. Hey, Flash. Hey, Bub.
It's like children, they don't entertain on command.
You don't entertain on command?
No, we have our nephew, her grandson. My brother taught him how to roar. So every time we go and visit, we're like, do the roar, and he just looks
He
at
won't.
us.
So I only see it on video. I haven't seen it in person yet.
My
He's
girlfriend,
like, come on, it's 11:30. It's time. Or no, it's 11 o'clock. It's time.
My
Time to go
girlfriend
outside.
taught my daughter to go to people, and so she went to do a piano recital at church, and then she turned around and goes like, and this is the people, and I was like, well, there you go.
That's awesome.
All right, let me grab the camera.
So I went to. I can talk about drinking, right?
On
A little
YouTube.
bit.
On YouTube.
Am I on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay, so we were visiting in town, and we always went to church every Sunday Eve, even in the RV. And we were at Silverdale Baptist Church, and when I go to pick Michael up out of the kids' church, they say, hang on with that just for a second, wait a second, I'm telling a story that I can't tell on there. And they said, so he told us his daddy's favorite song. I'm like, oh really, what's that? And they said, rain makes corn and corn makes whiskey.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, whiskey makes my baby feel a little frisky. I mean, it ain't wrong.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, there's some good Sunday school music, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Sorry.
All right. Sorry. Kabam!
Door in the face.
All right, you guys can see the way that Flash goes outside. Flash loves to go outside when it's warm enough. And he's quicker than you might think.
You guys can come in and see it coming in
Y'all
too.
can watch it. You can scope out my beautiful artwork in there.
All right.
Oh, look.
Hey, Flash, you want to come outside, baby?
He's like all of a sudden all these big trees standing there.
Flash.
Hey, say hi to the camera girl. Little turkey, get all the, you don't do that tripod. She's a little fan. She, especially out here in the kitchen. She loves to reach for things.